the Palestinian struggle is a legitimate struggle for self-determination, justice, and freedom. The action of the Israeli government does not assist in the international community's quest for a permanent solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The South African government has repeatedly called for lifting of the ongoing Israeli blockade of Gaza, considering it to amount to collective punishment of the population of the enclave. During May 2010, South Africa recalled its ambassador to Israel for consultations and handed a demarche to Israeli ambassador in protest of an Israeli military assault on an international assistance flotilla to Gaza in international waters in the eastern Mediterranean Sea, which resulted in the death of 7 Turkish nationals aboard a Turkish vessel. South Africa does not support the Israeli practices relating to the detention of Palestinian children, the arbitrary use of administrative detention against Palestinians, the demolition of Palestinian homes, the continued Israeli colonization of Palestinian territory, and related violence carried out by Israeli settlers against Palestinians and their property, and the maintenance of blockade against the Gaza Strip. The Human Science Research Council of South Africa has released a report confirming that Israel is practicing both colonialism and apartheid in the occupied Palestinian territories. Since South Africa's democratic transformation in 1994, successive governments have expressed strong support in regional and international fora such as the UN, NEM, IPSA, and BRICS for the Palestinian cause within the framework of a viable two-state solution. South Africa is of the opinion that some of the Israeli practices within the occupied Palestinian territories are not just contrary to international law, but also contrary in attaining a viable two-state solution. I thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, South Africa. India has the floor now. You may have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. I have a very brief statement. Before that, I would like to share a case law, a court case, which happened about 1.5 years ago regarding the status of East Jerusalem. An American citizen, she gave birth to her son in East Jerusalem way back in 2010. I don't know exactly the time, but she applied for a passport for her son, stating that he is American citizen and he is born in Israel. She insisted that his passport should contain that his birthplace is Israel. But State Department in USA rejected, saying that East Jerusalem, we do not recognize East Jerusalem as a part of Israel. She went to the court, insisting that Israel should be mentioned as a birthplace, saying that one of our grounds is that US Congress has passed a resolution recognizing East Jerusalem and other parts which were occupied subsequent to 1967 by the Israel as a part of Israel. But that resolution was rejected by the State Department and administration. She went to the Supreme Court, and the plea of the administration was the Congress resolution cannot be recognized as a legal basis because in foreign affairs, it is the administration, is the State Department, which is the authority, and legislature has no role to play. Supreme Court has accepted that argument of State Department, recognized that what administration says is correct, and therefore the boy cannot be issued a passport recognizing his place of birth is Israel. This is just a note. Now I will read out my statement. In this case, Hillary Clinton was the defending party. Madam President, we compliment the ALCO Secretariat for the special study on the statehood of Palestine and international law, which was released on the first day. We subscribe to the study. We think Palestine is, though 2012 resolution and also October 2011 resolution of UNESCO admitting Palestine as a full-fledged state, and November 2012 resolution of United Nations admitting as a non-member observer status of Palestine is very significant, but still we consider Palestine still is unfinished and long-pending task of international community. We wish to see Palestine as a full-fledged sovereign and independent state at the United Nations and other fora, as per various resolutions. As per various resolutions of UN General Assembly as well as Security Council, Palestinian borders are well defined and demarcated and recognized they were before the 1967 war. The Palestinian people have the right to return to their territory, and their continued displacement from their place of abode with expanding settlement is illegal and immoral. In this regard, the operative paragraphs, we support the operative paragraphs of the draft resolution of the proposed by the Secretariat, that operative paragraph 13 and 14, that Secretariat, ALCO Secretariat closely follow the developments in occupied territories from the viewpoint of relevant legal aspects, and also at paragraph 14 decides to place the item on the provisional agenda of the 53rd annual session. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, India. I'll give the floor to China now. You have the floor, ma'am.
Thank you, Madam President. First of all, the Chinese delegation would like to express its appreciation for the Secretariat of ALCO for its very useful special study on the statehood of the Palestinians under international law. China firmly supports the just cause of the Palestinian people. We support to establish an independent Palestinian state that enjoys full sovereignty on the basis of 1967 border and with East Jerusalem as its capital. We support Palestine to join UN and other international organizations. Madam President, China has always actively supported and advanced the Middle East peace process. In early May this year, both Palestinian and Israeli leaders paid a visit to China. At the same time, our President Xi Jinping laid out a 4-point proposal on the settlement of Palestinian issue, which was welcomed by international community. China also hosted the UN international meeting in support of Palestinian-Israeli peace in Beijing this June. China's special envoy has always made efforts to promote the resumption of Palestinian-Israeli peace talks. We also make new offer of assistance for Palestinians' capacity building. Those are only some of the activities we made this year. And Madam President, I would like to take this opportunity to assure you that China will continue to play an active and constructive role in promoting a comprehensive and just solution to Palestinian issue. Thank you very much.
Thank you, China. Is there any other delegation wishing to take the floor at this time? Do you see anybody? I don't see anyone wishing to take the floor at this time. So we'll close this agenda item and move on to the next agenda item. The next item on the agenda is report of the work of the ALCO's regional arbitration centers. I'll request Mr. Feng to introduce the report. I'll invite the representatives of the regional centers to come on the podium, please.
honorable ministers, excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce the report of the ALCO's Regional Arbitration Centers as contained in the Secretariat document, ALCO/52/headquarters/2013/org3, which consists of the reports of the directors of Tehran, Cairo, and Lagos Regional Arbitration Centers. The ALCO Secretariat would be circulating the report of the director of the Kuala Lumpur Regional Center for Arbitration, which was received after the printing of this report. I just saw it may have has already been distributed. ALCO's association with this area goes back to the 1970s, when there were hardly any permanent arbitral institutions in the Asian African region. ALCO was prompted to realize the need to develop and improve the procedure for international commercial arbitration, the necessity for institutional support, and to develop necessary expertise and creative environment conducive to conduct arbitration in the Asian and African regions. The ALCO Regional Arbitration Centers, it may be recalled, were the result of the ALCO's scheme for the settlement of disputes in economic and commercial transactions, and the decision to establish regional centers for international commercial arbitration at the Doha session in 1978. In consonance with the scheme, the regional centers for arbitration at Cairo, Arab Republic of Egypt for the African region, and at Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia for the Asian region were established in 1978 and 1979, respectively. Later, 2 more such centers were established in Lagos, Nigeria in 1989 and Tehran, Islamic Republic of Iran in 2003. ALCO has also concluded an agreement with the government of the Republic of Kenya in 2007 to establish its 5th regional arbitration center in Nairobi to cater to the needs of the eastern and southern parts of the African continent. In this regard, I must take the opportunity to congratulate the government of Kenya for the setting up of the Nairobi Regional Arbitration Center. Madam President, the role of regional arbitration centers is very significant, as they mark a difference in the arbitration culture within the region. Their progress and effort to fulfill their mandate effectively and their efficient functioning has given them goodwill and reputation across the borders. In fact, it is an honor that we have these regional arbitration centers under the auspices of ALCO, as these centers are